This is West Los Angeles College Summer Camp for high school and college students, Web Design Basics, and this is week 5. We're going to wrap everything up now. So having a look at our website, we've got a navigation bar at the top, we have our hero image, the Jumbotron, our fluid container with 3 images, text, a video, and then our web form. What we are looking to do is to hook everything up so that as we click on our navigation bar, we can jump to different parts of our page. And in order to make this work, we need to make sure that every part of our page, every key component, has an ID, because it's with the ID that we're able to target, we're able to link to these different sections. So let's go back to Dreamweaver and let's have a look. Okay, as we scroll to the top, we have our navigation bar. We're not going to be linking to our navigation bar. The navigation bar is the thing that actually has all the links. Next thing we had is our Jumbotron. Now our Jumbotron right now is image responsive, and that's it. That's not enough for us to target this for a link. We need to give it an ID. So let's give our image responsive, let's give this an ID of banner. So I'm going to right click on image, and I'm going to choose my quick tag editor, and so we have image source. At the very end here, I'm going to click and I'm going to hit space and I'm going to type in ID, because everything has to have an ID, equals quote BANNER quote, and then I'm going to hit enter. Yeah. Now if I look over here in my DOM panel, let's close everything up. Now I can see that my image has a ID of banner. Now we have the Jumbotron. Does not have an ID. Let's give that an ID. So I'm going to right click on my Jumbotron and choose my quick tag editor, hit space, and I'm going to type ID equals quote JUMBOTRON close quote. So now I can see my Jumbotron has an ID of Jumbotron. 3 images already has an ID. We gave it an ID earlier. Text has an ID. Video has an ID. Contact has an ID. My modal has an ID, but we're not going to be linking to my modal because remember that's kind of invisible. So now we're able to link to anything on the page that we want to because everything has an ID. Okay, let's get started working on our navigation bar. We want to have links for all of our pages across the top. I'm going to delete this first drop down. We've got 2 drop down menus on the left and on the right. Let's get rid of this one on the left. So I'm going to select drop down, and when I do that, in my DOM panel I can see here's my drop down. It says dot drop down. I can also see it here in my status bar. It says drop down. So with my drop down selected, I'm just going to hit the delete key, and that will remove the drop down from my navigation bar. Now let's switch to, I'm going to go to split view, which lets me see my code and my web layout at the same time, actual web page. So let's see here. Okay, first thing I have is an item that says brand. So I'm going to click on brand, and that's just a name. You can see here on line 27, that's where my cursor is, where it says brand. I'm going to double click on that, and I'm going to type in the pencil. And I'm just doing that so that now when you look at the page, instead of saying brand, it says pencil. Now let's click on that first link that we have. Okay, if I click on that link, let's see. If I click on my link, this is line 31 in the code. It says this is a list item. This is what it's linked to. It's linked to nothing right now. And the name is link. So this is where we're going to make some changes. With the word link selected, I'm going to change where it says link down here. I hope that's not confusing. I'm going to change that to be the first item on in my navigation, which was my banner. I'm going to type in, instead of just pound sign, I'm going to put in pound sign banner, BANNER. Now for my text, right here where it says link, I'm actually going to change that to banner, BANNER. and I'm going to hit Save All. Okay, next item that I have is this link. When I click on that link, I can see down here it says link. This is line 32. And I'm going to put my cursor right in there where it says link. Right now, my target is just this pound sign, but I want to change it from pound sign to pound sign Jumbotron, because that's the second item in my list, right? Jumbotron. And then for my text, I'm going to double click on that word link, and I'm going to type Jumbotron, Jumbotron. Let's hit Save All. So if we look at our, let's look at our document object model again. You can see pound banner is the ID that I gave to my banner. Pound Jumbotron is the ID I gave to my Jumbotron, giving that to my Jumbotron. So how does this work exactly? Let's preview this page real quick in a web browser. Let's go to Firefox. And this is the page I'm looking at right now, index.html, okay? If I type in pound sign contact, C-O-N-T-A-C-T, remember that was the ID that we gave to our contact. If I just type in pound sign contact and hit enter, I go straight to the bottom of my page where my contact form is. So that's how this works. Let's go back to Dreamweaver. I've got banner, I've got Jumbotron. I need a few more links. I've kind of run out of links, right? I still need to cover, what do we have left to go? We need a link for 3 images, text, video, and contact. All right, got 4 items to add in here. Okay, so how are we going to add one for 3 images? What I can do is I can click here on Jumbotron. Okay. This is an anchor that's inside of this list item. I can just click on this list item right here. And with it selected, I can choose Edit, and I can choose Copy. And then I can just choose Paste. It's going to add in another link for me. So I need a total of 4 of these, right? That's 1. Let's add another one. 2, 3, and 4. Okay. So our first item on our list that we're linking to is banner. Next one was Jumbotron. This third one is 3 images. So I'm going to, for my link, instead of linking to Jumbotron, I'm going to link to pound sign, T-H-R-E-E-I-M-A-G-E-S. And then for my text, I'm going to change that to 3 images. Okay, let's hit refresh. What was next on our list? We had banner, text. Text was the next one. So let me click on this guy. This still says Jumbotron, but I'm going to change the link to pound text. And then for my actual content, I'm going to change that to text, T-E-X-T. Good. I'm going to go ahead and hit save, save everything that we've done. I think I have 2 more left to go. What are they? We have video and contact. Okay, it's easy enough to remember. I'm going to click on my next link. It still says Jumbotron, and I'm going to change that to pound, V-I-D-E-O, for video. Okay. Let me highlight Jumbotron here and replace that with video. And then finally, we have pound sign contact, C-O-N-T-A-C-T, and I'll change that to contact. Okay. Let's hit Save All. Now let's preview in our web browser. Preview in Firefox. So now if I click on Jumbotron, it takes me to my Jumbotron. 3 images, text, video, and contact. Neat how that works, huh? We can do a little bit better because we have some existing code inside of Bootstrap that will help us with our navigation. Again, it's kind of like some of the other stuff we've done. The code is dormant. It's there. All we need to do is hook it up and make it go. So I'm going to do a search for WLAC Computer Summer Computer Class. Computer Science Home, Summer Camp Home, Computer Science. Here we go. And I'm going to go to the page that we have for this class because the next code we need to copy is a little bit more involved than some of the other stuff we've done. Let's click on More Information, and I will scroll down, and we'll see that I've added some step-by-step information for this 5th class. Okay, so we're going to go to our body tag, and right now our body tag just says padding top 50 pixels. Remember, we changed that to make our body tag look good. Let's scroll up here a little bit. Okay, here's our body tag, right? That's what we have right now. Padding top is 50 pixels. This is what I'd like to change it to. I'm going to add in data spy equals scroll, data target equals dot navbar. Remember, this is kind of like what we did with the modal. So we're going to tell this feature that we haven't been using called scroll spy to look at what's going on the entire body. That's why we're putting this on our body tag, because we want it to keep an eye out for everything that's on our web page. And then we want it to link any links that it finds inside of that body. It wants to match it up with any matching anchors in the nav bar. So this is the code that we want to add. So I'm going to highlight that code. Data spy equals scroll, data target equals period navbar, which means class equals navbar. So I'm going to highlight and I'm going to hit copy. I'm going to go to Dreamweaver and I'm going to go to my body style and I'm just going to click and paste in just what we now copied. And I'm going to hit save all, and now let's preview in a web browser. Now here's what's exciting. As we scroll down the page, you can see that our navigation is changing. When we're on the contact section, I misspelled contact. We're on the contact section, you can see that the contact is blue there. If I click here on 3 images is now blue. So that's great. Now we've kind of got these two things tied up together. There's a little bit of a problem in that we're not quite in sync. So I'm going to hit F5 to refresh my page and fix my spelling. So when I'm in the text section, it's changing from 3 images to text a little bit late. Why is it late? It's late because of our navigation bar. Our navigation bar is 50 pixels tall, and it's basically hiding some other content. If we didn't have the navigation bar there, everything would be working fine. And this way that we're using the navigation bar is a little different than, some other web pages. When you click on these different links across the top, just takes you a different page, not moving you to a different point in the same page. So how do we fix this? We just add a little bit more information. I'm going to go back to my West LA College, and what we're going to do is we're going to add in this additional value, data dash offset equals 51, or 51 pixels. Just one more little bit of information, data offset equals 51. So let's copy that. Let's go back to Dreamweaver. Let's go back to look at, okay, body style equals, so after we have data target equals navbar, I'm going to put in my cursor, I'm going to hit space, I'm going to hit paste, and now it says data offset, got one space more than I really need. Data offset equals 51. So it's going to let the scroll spy know, hey, we need you to just set everything off by 51 pixels. 50 is close. I think 51 is a little bit more precise. Kind of like 1 pixel hit and miss. So let's refresh our page. Now as I scroll down, notice as soon as we get to this text section at the top, it switches to text, and as soon as our video gets right to the top, it switches to video. Okay, I like that. That's working well. So this part we've got working exactly like we want it to. Let's click on Jumbotron. We still have a little bit of a problem here. When I click on Jumbotron, if this navigation bar had disappeared or wasn't in a fixed position, we'd see that we're actually hiding like 50 pixels worth of the Jumbotron. Similarly, when we go to 3 images, we're missing the top of the 3 images. So we need to do one more thing. We need to add in a little bit of extra code that says we want to add a little extra 50 pixels to whatever you're going to. Can you adjust the top by 50 pixels? And you know what? While we're at it, let's make our page look a little fancier. Right now, when we click on banner, we just jump immediately to wherever we're going. let's add a little animation. Let's slow this down and kind of give it a little bit of a, make it take just a fraction of a second to get to where we're going, and it'll look a little bit more interesting. We have the code to do that. We're going to go back to the page that we have set up for this class. And we're going to scroll down and we're going to add in just this little bit of extra JavaScript. Okay, now there's two things we need to, there's one more thing we need to do in order to make this JavaScript work. This JavaScript says, anytime we click on something that has a class of anchor, have it go to whatever it's linked to, give it an extra 50 pixels worth of height, and have it take a half second to get there. But the part that we need is this part, it has to be a member of the class of anchor. And you're going, whatever is he talking about? So I'm going to click here on my banner, okay? When I click on my banner, I want to make this JavaScript do something. So here's what I do. Right now where it says class equals active, I'm going to add in a little bit extra, and then we have our anchor. I'm going to take this anchor and I want to give it a class. Class equals, quote, ANCHOR. Class equals anchor. Whenever I click on this, I want that JavaScript to run. Class equals, why do I have class equals anchor? Because when I look at my JavaScript, it says period anchor. Remember, period is the same thing as class, okay? So I'm going to copy this, class equals anchor. Actually, let me copy the space that's in front of it right there. Okay? I'm going to right click and I'm going to copy. And I'm going to go to my Jumbotron and I'm going to right click and choose paste. Alright? I'm going to do the same thing for 3 images, for text, for video, and for contact. So now all of my links, these 6 links that we have across the top, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, they're all a member of this class. Now, if I preview this, let's preview in Firefox. Do you want to save changes? Yep. Basically, nothing's going to happen. Now we're ready to add in our extra little bit of JavaScript code. So I'm going to copy this script right here, highlight all of this code, and I'm going to hit copy. I'm going to go back to Dreamweaver. I'm going to go to the very bottom of my document. So we've got where we're loading our jQuery, where we're loading our Bootstrap code. Now we're going to add in just a specific code just for this feature. So I'm going to hit enter to give myself a new line, and I'm going to hit paste. Yep, and we got a little bit more code here than we needed. Thank you very much. We don't need that. That's all that we need right there. So this is the code that we need. Script, document ready. When we click on the anchor, add 50 pixels of padding, and then take half a second to get there. We're ready. So I'm going to choose Preview in Firefox. Do you want to save changes? I do. Now let's click on 3 images, and now it looks a little bit nicer, right? That's a little bit more modern. If I click on Banner, it takes us up to our banner, Jumbotron, and you can see that it's right where we need it to be. We're not losing any text. Now there's one more goofy little thing here. You'll notice that when we go to 3 images, we're right at the top of our 3 images, and yet we've got a little extra space here. Well, what's that all about? Well, this extra space is not a part of 3 images. If I click on 3 images, this is where 3 images starts. This extra space here is actually extra space that's a part of our Jumbotron. Our Jumbotron has 20 pixels of margin on the bottom of it, just like we added that, or I'm sorry, just like there was that extra 20 pixels of margin that was at the very beginning when we first started this whole project, and we had that weird little gap at the top, and I said that, you know, sometimes Bootstrap will add in a little extra spacing for us, and we changed that spacing from 70 pixels, we changed it down to 50 pixels. We're going to do the same thing right now. So let's go back to Dreamweaver. I'm going to select my Jumbotron, so let's scroll down. Where is my Jumbotron? Here it is. I got my Jumbotron selected. I'm going to click on my div that says Jumbotron. Under my sources, I want to make sure that I've got style selected. Global. I'm going to add a selector, Jumbotron, and I'm going to go to my margin. I already checked earlier to see what this margin is. Let me scroll down here so we can see. Okay, see where we've got this extra space? I'm going to change my margin to just 1 pixel and see what happens. Oops, need to scroll down here again. Now that gap has disappeared. So that extra space was not a part of the 3 images, but it was actually a part of my Jumbotron. So we got that part at least corrected, but I would prefer to have some extra spacing for my 3 images. So how do I fix that? Click here on my 3 images. I'm going to click on this div that holds all of my 3 images, and I'm just going to add some padding now. So let's add a selector, 3 images. I'm going to go to my layout properties, and I'm going to add 50 pixels of padding to the top. Let's go to padding. Let's add 50. Click here and put 50. See, now we've got some nice room there. Let's add 50 to the top, and let's add 50 to the bottom, so we'll have some space before and after our 3 images. Let's preview in Firefox, save the changes. Yep. Now let's go to my 3 images. Looks better. I've got space above and I've got space below. So we're just about done. We have just a few more things left to do. If we go back here and look, but what I wanted to do was where it says link, I actually wanted to turn this into an actual email link, and that's pretty easy to do. So I'm going to click in my status bar on this. Right now it's an anchor that links to the word link. I've got that highlighted. I'm just going to hit delete to delete it. I'm going to go to insert. I'm going to choose HTML, and I will choose email link, and I'm going to have email, just email, E-M-A-I-L, and that's the text that's going to be shown as email, and then the actual email address is my email address here at the college, and I'm going to say OK. So now when someone clicks on email, it's going to try to open up a default email program. Now we've got one other link here, and it says drop down. Okay, I'm going to click on drop down, and I'm going to change the word drop down. The word drop down is right here. It's line 46. I'm going to change that from drop down to more, M-O-R-E. I'm going to hit save all. Okay. I'll hit F5 to refresh my page. Now it says more. More what? Well, let's go to some other web pages. Right now, we've only been linking to stuff that's on our web page. How do we link to an external web page? There is a pencil museum. It's in Keswick in the United Kingdom. So I'm going to copy the URL for my pencil museum. Let's hit copy. Let's go back to Dreamweaver. And I'm going to click on this first link. Right now it says action, okay? So for the link, I'm going to change the link to Pencil Museum. For the target, I'm going to type in now let's type in visit the Pencil Museum. Visit the Pencil, M-U-S-E-U-M. Okay. And then right now it still says action. I'm going to change that just to Pencil, M-U-S-E-U-M, Pencil Museum. Let's preview in our web browser. We'll use Firefox again. And so now if I look over here under more, it says Pencil Museum. Now when I click on that, I'm actually going to go from this page to the Pencil Museum. Now there's no way for the visitor to still be on my site because we left my site and then went to a different site. Now we can use a property called target equals blank. We've used target equals blank before, but we haven't really talked about it. Let me set this to target is equal to blank. And let's save this. I'm going to preview and let me close all these open windows that we have so it's a little bit clearer what we're doing. All right, I'm going to refresh this window. This is a page we've been working on. If I go under more, notice we have one tab open. It says Amazing Pencil. If I click on Pencil Museum, it opens up the Pencil Museum in a new tab. Okay. If I say, how about amazing facts about pencils. Here we go. 10 little known pencil facts. Just the perfect thing for my website. So I'm going to copy this URL, highlight and hit copy, and we'll do one more. Okay. It says another action. So I'm going to click here. It says this is another action. For my link, I'm going to paste in 10 little known facts. For my title, I'll type in 10 pencil facts. Again, my target is going to be blank, And then where I have another action, I'll just type in pencil facts, pencilfacts. Let's preview on our web browser. Yep. Now if I look over here under more, if I hover over this one, I can see it says visit the pencil. If I hover over this one, it says 10 pencil facts. And again, if I click on it, opens up a new web page. So we've really got our navigation bar going. We can click on any of our links, go to different sections. If we click on this, it's going to open up an email program for us. Okay, it says to, there's my email address. And then we have our More button where we're linking to other pages. Last thing we haven't done anything with is our search form, and that's pretty simple. So let's go back to Dreamweaver, and you remember we put in different parameters for our search form when we created our email. It's going to be the same thing in this case. So I'm going to click on my search bar, and I'm going to click on my tag for my form. Now this is what we're going to do. For the action, we're going to have people do a search with Google. Okay, so for my action, I'm going to type in https://google.com, but we're going to add in one more thing, /search, search, okay? We want to make sure our target is again blank, and then for our method, we're going to choose get, and we'll talk a little bit more about this in class, okay? So that's part one. The next thing we have to do is our input. We actually need to give our input a particular name, and we're going to give it a name of Q. That's a name that Google is looking for. And then for our submit button, I'm just going to change this from submit. I'm going to double click that and change that to Google. Okay, and let's click over here and choose preview in Firefox. Save the changes. Yep. So now if I type in M-E-C-H-A-N-I, mechanical pencil, and if I hit Google, it's going to submit this as a query to Google. And here it is. We get information about a mechanical pencil. So that wraps up our page now. So we've got a page, we've got our different elements, we can skip around, we can watch our video. This is also a responsive page, so as we make the page smaller, we know that our different elements, our layout is going to change. When we break to this view, now we are in our mobile view. And if I click here, I see my mobile navigation opens. Again, I can click to any part of my page I want to. I can still do a search with Google if I'd like to. There's my Google search. And this is my amazing pencil. So thanks so much for sticking in there. We covered a lot in these 5 classes. If you're interested in learning more, please sign up for CS 952, where we'll go into a lot more detail and hopefully give you a greater breadth of understanding about how these things work.